settling transactions because they're the highest of the whole batch, and discard all the other junk. And in fact, on page 21, use an example. There are three very close comps. One of them came in at 143, 139, and 145. Okay, what's my ARB? Who says 140? Who says 143? Who says 145? Okay, you are all wrong, and you are all right. I will accept any answer between 140 and 145 with those three comps. I'm okay with either one of those. I'll take the conservative 140, and I'll take the liberal 145. I'd use the 145. You'd sleep better if you used the 140. Some of you sleep better if you used 100. You'd sleep better, but you wouldn't get anything accepted. Yeah. No, 149.9 is not it now, Rick, because we are not, our ARB, I used to teach, you're going to sell it more than ARB. But no, our ARB, even back then, our ARB was still our ARB. Remember though, our ARB is not what we expect to sell the house for, class. It's what we'd like to. It's what we could probably get an appraisal to do so with, based on these three sales. But I'm not going to knock my ARB down because I think I'm going to sell it for less. My ARB is my ARB. It's what I'm going to use to back down to my offer, but I got to start with a reasonable ARB. Again, conservatism is already built in. Now note, a comp is not a comp unless it's sold. You cannot use pending sales. You have to use solds only. They have to be a recent sale within a few months. They have to be close in proximity. And that's why I like my folks to print out a map from Google Maps, showing me the comps and showing me the subject property right there. If my dots are all right there together, I know I'm close in proximity. However, even then, is there a trap built in here? Yes. All of you have seen a subdivision here, $150,000 value across the street, worth $300,000 value. So you've got to kind of know that the comp is in the same neighborhood, and especially if you see a major highway dividing the comps. If you see an interstate or a major highway dividing the comps, you better know a little bit about that area before you just assume all of a sudden that this house is sold on this side for a lot more than this house is sold on this side is a good comp, because it's probably not a good comp. So if you see a dot over here that's sold for a lot more than the dots over here, this one's probably not a comp. But if you see all these dots sold give or take within 10% of each other, you probably got a good pile of comps. Now, is a comp a house that's sold in excellent condition? Yes. What's the definition of ARB? After repair value. Now this is a big one. What's a BBO? As is value. So a house that's sold in excellent condition is a comp. A house that's sold in poor condition might be a comp and not one that I'd want to use unless I adjusted for it. But when I got three sales this close together, three good comps. What if I find one for 145 and I can't find any more for more than 135? And yet the dots are right there together. Okay. Well, I might want to take a little bit harder look at the 145 and make sure it's close in square footage. And the first comp that I'm going to give the first priority to is the one sold most recently in this volatile marketplace. And then if it's close in square footage and it's a piece of sale, then I'm going to say that's a good comp, unless I see something that makes me want to know more, such as a highway sitting there or whatever. All right, Google Maps, guys, you can all get Google Maps for free. And just so you'll know, probably not a good idea for you to go into your backyard naked anymore. You never know who's watching you from the heavens, because you literally can go on there and tune down into anybody's backyard live right now. I'm waiting for them to get that camera where you come down, do a right angle, and go right into the house. Privacy, are you kidding me? Pretty soon we're all going to be wearing name tags probably built into our arms with electronic gadgets so they can know where we're at all times. I don't know. You never know, we might have to move to Canada before it's over. All right, are there any questions on who's having trouble finding true ARB? Nobody. All right, good. Who's actually even looking for comps? Well, nobody. Oh, you again. Okay. All right. You just got to do the best you can until you get better at it. And worst case, if you're really going to get into this deal and let's say you're about to close on it, or you got it under contract, or you're about to put a big deposit up that you're going to be risking if you put it on contract, then you need to probably send somebody out in the field and take a look at the comps and see if the comps really look like your subject. If they bring you back pictures of the three comps that you have chosen, and they are way prettier and way sexier than your house, then you know you need to adjust your ARB. Yeah, and sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes the comps are way uglier and your house is sexier. If the comps had a pool, should you know that? Yeah. If there's anything major about your comps that's not pertaining to yours or vice versa, it'd be kind of neat if you knew that. And that's not a lot of work, but and I would not do that unless I'm at the point where I'm at risk. When we're sitting here making offers on these houses, we don't do all that crap. We just look at the comps, because the truth is, if we don't get anybody to accept our offer, it's all moot point anyway, isn't it? Hello? We work ourselves to death running around looking at houses and finding comps on houses we'll never buy. Yes, we do. Yes, we can. I work with my home buyer society about that. They've done an awful lot of work running around looking at these bank REOs and not near enough work, calling FSBOs and bringing in properties that we can just walk in and get, take over the debt and walk out without doing all that bidding against everybody. I don't want you guys to forget that whole pretty house side of the business. We're spending a lot of time here on junkers that we're going to buy, pay cash for, put on work for equity, but there's a whole other universe out there that's a lot easier. Walk into pretty homes, take over debt on pretty houses that don't need any work, but lease option tenants in them, be done, be out. Cash now, cash later, cash monthly. Okay, look, finding buyers today is different than it used to be. Ever since Gore invented the internet, it's real easy today. Okay? The truth is, you're going to have a website set up, and we're going to do it for you if you want us to do it. And that website is going to have your properties on it that you find. And I'm talking to work for equity, wholesale, retail, whatever you want on them. You put folks in Financial Freedom Network, you've already got a website set up to buy and sell. And if you don't, go to goffn.com, and already have one set up for you. Subscribe for a month. If you like it, you stay. If you don't, you don't. Either way, get your website set up right there, one to buy and sell. Also got a thing in here for you to subscribe to iFlip. iFlip is software created by my student teacher, Cameron Dunlap, and it's kind of designed for wholesaling houses. It is really a cool program where you just load your houses up. Buyers come, bring you deals. Sellers come, bring you deals. The two get together online. You're notified that they want to buy your house, and they got a house that they want you to put up on the system to put out to your buyers list. Either way, the system builds huge buyers list for you from online. They come based on the information that you put out to attract them. You do have to drive traffic. You're going to have to drive traffic for any website you do, for any reason, for any industry, for any business. But fortunately, you don't have to drive much traffic because your traffic is probably all local, number one. And number two, it's a very segmented portion of the marketplace that's interested in either work for equity, live in it, or work for equity, or wholesale junkers for investors. But once you build your buyers list, like Joe's going to show you this afternoon, you've got the key that unlocks the vault. Whenever he gets a property, what do you think? You think he runs down and puts an ad in the newspaper and spends money? What does he do? What does he send out? It's called a what? It's called an email. How expensive is it to send out an email? That's free. So he sends this email out to his buyers list. We got one. Go fight over it. May the best man win. No, that's not exactly what it says. Okay. But Every time he gets one, now he just sends the information out and lets them respond. And pretty soon, you got a buyer. Way before he's ready to close on the purchase. Buyer's already waiting. And that is what it has evolved to nowadays, guys. And if your business is not like that, just do a few minor things and get it fixed and get your buyer's list built. I even got a sample autoresponder. In other words, so here's your website set up, and it tells them what you do. In fact, I've got the copy in here for you to put on your website, so relax. Okay? Your website set up, it tells them what you do, and it asks them to leave you information if they are interested in learning more. So look at the autoresponder that asks them for information that I wrote for you on page 23. There's two kinds of buyers. There's an investor and there's an owner-occupant, right? Right? All right. I don't know which one they are yet, so I'm going to let them tell me. Click here if you're an investor. Click here if you're going to live in a home. Because I have different questions for investors than I have for owner-occupants, don't we? See, if they're going to live in a home, I'm probably only going to sell them one home. But if they're investors, I can sell them numerous homes. Numerous homes. So if they click on investors, there's the questions I want answered right there. That's my buyer's list. That's all I need to know. I need to know right there. Where you want to buy in? Do you need terms? Yes or no? If they say no, they're probably a wholesale buyer. That's okay with me. I'm okay with selling some cash. When I send you a good deal, can you close within 15, 30, or longer? If they check longer, they're not a buyer. What they don't know is they just put the noose around their neck. They ain't going to get on my buyer's list. I mean, they're going to get on my list, but I don't consider them a buyer. They can't close in 30 days. They're not a buyer to me. In fact, if they're going to close on a work for equity, they can close within 30 minutes because they're going to close the same day I'm closing. If they're closing on wholesale, I'm not going to give them more than 15 days anyway. What's the maximum cash you can raise for a deal? That's like saying how much money you got. And what after fair price range would you prefer? And their name and phone number. So they send me this back. Now, when I get this back, have I just added an addition to my buyer's list? Yes? All right. Joe's got all kinds of neat tricks to make this happen. And this is not an internet school course today. But I mean, could we literally sit here for 3 days teaching you how to do nothing but buy and sell houses on the internet? Yes? Yeah. All right. Now look at the owner occupant sheet. Now, the different questions. How much money do you have as a down payment? That would be like my number one priority question. Because if that comes back $200, I don't want to see the rest of the question. Okay? But like he said, if that comes back $20,000, bungo, got my attention, read on. Okay? And the bigger the number in that block, the higher they're going to get to the top of my list too. What additional down payment? In other words, I don't believe your first answer, now tell me the real number. Okay? And then I tell them what to think about. Did you know you can use tax refunds and bonuses and retirement funds and 401ks and all of that? And we even take trades. That's what it says right there. And we take personal property you may want to trade, such as cars, boats, RVs, motorcycles, trucks, and so forth. How many like free stuff? Okay, you're going to have an RV. Make it free. I mean, free to get. It ain't going to be free to own, but make it free. I got a free RV once. I got free boats. I got free trucks. I got motorcycles. I got all that crap. People just give it to you as part of their down payment. And they're glad to get rid of it. They don't want to mess around with selling it. So I'll open yourself up to take all this free stuff. It's free to you. You're giving away free equity for stuff they pay good money for. And all of you need an RV anyway. How many of you really would like to have an RV? Okay. How many of you have ever had an RV? All right. How about a boat? Who wants a boat? Okay. Guys, you need an RV, a boat, and a motorcycle. You are a worthless human being until you've had all three of those items. RV, a boat, and a motorcycle. And if you're going to get those three items, then you're going to quickly find out you really didn't want any of. But if you're going to get them, might as well get them free. Would you agree? Then they can start sucking money out of you after you get them. Okay? I've had an RV, I've had boats, and my son-in-law's picking up my motorcycle from the shop today. It's constant money suck, but it ain't nowhere near as bad as that boat was. Oh my goodness gracious. That boat was a real money suck. Sold my boat to somebody in New York who hasn't been to that seminar yet. Horses, I got three of those too. They eat and crap. Eat crap, eat crap, eat crap. That's all they do. Of course, if I didn't have a wife, I wouldn't have horses. Trust me on that. All right. Anybody, if you're going to have a horse, they'll trade them to you too. Just tell them, you take anything. They call and say, well, what do you want to trade? Well, what you got? Okay, well, I got this. Well, what's it worth? Well, we consider that. Don't forget, there's always eBay. Did you know that almost 2 million people now make their living on eBay? That's another seminar. All right, what additional down payment? Or what date do you want to move in? Well, I need to know that because if they don't want to move in pretty soon, they're not a real candidate right now. What do you need your monthly payments to stay under? That's important to me. Because somebody who's looking at my $150,000 house with down here, they want a $500 payment. We got a problem. Is your credit good, fair, ugly? And I ask for their credit score. And this one, when you hear my credit guys afternoon, this one goes to your heartbeat. Because you can take that ugly and turn it into good in a few months. And you're the only one going to do that for them. You're the only one going to do it for them. And that's a huge sales tool. Incidentally, is that a huge sales tool when you're buying houses? Yes. I mean, everybody wants good credit. And there are a lot of folks out there now that lost their credit in the last year or two. Yep, millions of them. So you're out buying houses. Listen, I know you like to get your credit back. Let me get this house off your back right now. In the meantime, I'm going to put you with a man who's going to clean your credit up for you and get you back to where your credit score is going to be above 700 most likely. I'll do that for you and take a house off your back today at the same time. Nobody else can walk in there and offer that. And you might even agree to pay for it, especially when you find out how little it costs yourself. Can you do repairs? Do I need to know this if it's a work for equity candidate? Yes. And can you buy the materials if you need them? All right, there you go. So I got me a buyer's list. Boom, here it comes. Adds to my list. Boom, next thing you know, I got 2,200 and however many on my buyer's list. Of course, do you need 2,200 buyers? No, not even close. He just likes to brag about the number he's got. The truth is, if you took all of his 2,200 buyers, you probably got 100 real bona fide buyers on the whole list. But who cares? How many of them do you need? I mean, how many houses can you possibly do in a month? The answer is about 3 times as many as you think you can. Once you get systemized and get all the minutiae out of your life, so you don't do all the grunt work that doesn't produce any money, just labor. That's all. My entire business, guys, this is true. I don't spend 2 hours a month at real estate. My personal assistant, Tish, does all of my real estate stuff that needs to get done. And I'd tell you that Tish does a massive amount of stuff for me. It has nothing to do with real estate. And believe me when I tell you, she doesn't spend 3 or 4 hours a month doing real estate stuff. And we buy and sell houses on a regular basis. I'm not a machine like some of these Platinum Inner Circle members. I didn't do 73 houses last year. I did some, I don't even know how many. 10, 12, 15 somewhere. But remember, I don't do that for a living. I've got other things going on, big, massive things that I don't even want to get into right now. It's kind of a game for me. But it's a game that I play by using other people's labor, and when we systemize it, it needs very little of that. We're about to even amplify that, because Ryan in the back of the room is going to take on our sales job and be the person who takes the property from the time we get it under contract to the time we get a check on it. And he's going to systemize it, so it don't suck up his life either. If you're going to get in this game, you learn how to do this game so that it gives you a life back, not takes all your time away from you, or don't get in the game. Keep your job, or you'll really get rich.